I would like to introduce you to 4-3 in Batman. It's arguably one of the hardest screens for a couple of reasons. Normally, an optimized Batman, by the time you get here, even on a health route since 2-2, and without any random heart drops helping you out, which are a 12.5% chance of dropping, you'll have 2 hearts remaining after all the damage boosts. That means if you make a single mistake, you can no longer kill the boss. We can actually slow it down here for a second and showcase this little guy, a beautiful spike card named Diggler. Bypassing Diggler isn't the hardest strat in the game, but it's definitely the most punishing if you fail. If you get knocked off this platform, you lose about 13 seconds, which, outside of dying, is probably the biggest time loss you can have in Batman, going for and failing a strat. The rest of 4-3 is filled with tight execution, tight jumps, making sure you don't fall off the conveyor belts to the various platforms. As previously mentioned, you're on a very dedicated health road from 2-2, which is 7 screens ago, so controlling your health is extremely important. There's 2 stair sections, one where you ideally kill or skip a spike car and pass through the tank, and the stairs above where you kill the dragon tank, then do a fairly precise strat to pass through all 4 of the enemies on the stairs. From there, we just need to jump on the stairs and jump over a few more enemies and we're at the boss door. So, what did that take us? The split was nearly gold, and it came under just 58 seconds to complete the entire level. But if you're a student, you realize at the top level in 4-3, there's a gap. If you try to jump across it, it's placed just far enough that Batman can't make it. This is the story about Batman, the gap, and everything we as Batman speedrunners have tried to do to cross it. So the first thing you need to understand about Batman is, it appears to be a really well-made game on the surface. For years, there didn't really seem to be lots of glitches, both in general casually, but both that were beneficial to the speedrun. Unlike other games like Mario 1, where you can pass through walls, or Mega Man 2 where you can zip through walls, Batman remains seemingly solidly coded. The only glitch that made its way into the speedrun ended up being the Joker glitch, which was discovered by Sinister One. While you're fighting the Joker, if you manage to kill the Joker on the same frame while the lightning is hitting the ground, it will actually skip the Joker's death animation and save nearly 4 seconds. The next thing you need to understand before we dive in a little deeper is the whole game runs on an internal timer called the global timer. The global keeps track of things like ammo drops, monster patterns, and some boss patterns. The global timer continues to run in the background even when you pause the game, so it can't be manipulated or delayed. Batman runners take advantage of the global timer, always starting from the same value to manipulate all the drops in the first screen of the game. If you manipulate the first screen, within a 0.3 window, you can leave with more than 70 ammo, which allows ammo stability for the rest of the run. Which leads us directly into a couple of our first big bugs. This one happens to a lot of people casually, even though it's actually a 1-frame window. If you manage to kill any boss, and on the same frame Batman dies himself, it will actually activate a hidden boss timer in the background that's about 5 seconds. The timer will count down, then fade out Batman, skipping the boss fight entirely. And while we're here, if you manage to do this on the Joker, it actually creates a softlock situation from which you can't move or escape until the Joker depletes all your lives and causes the game over. This sadly doesn't have utility in the speedrun because it requires a death to set up, and all the quick kills in Batman are faster than dying and triggering this glitch. When I was killing the Act 2 boss, I accidentally stumbled upon a bug that delayed the boss timer, which is a relatively big find, as it's normally impossible. The Batman community wondered if it could be used in 4-3 in particular, or if it would cause any strange glitches running the game with a delayed global timer, but it turns out the global corrects itself, even after being delayed, and it doesn't seem to overflow or cause further problems with how the stages load. So with no global timer or boss timer manipulation seemingly possible and messing up the layout of the stages, the Batman community needs something else to be discovered potentially to cross the gap. Enter Dexter, easily one of the greatest minds the NES has ever had when it came to glitch hunting. Dexter figured out that you could clip into the wall in Act 2-3. This was a huge find, so we went off again to 4-3 to try to use the wall clip to cross the gap. Sadly, it didn't translate. Turns out the wall clip is exclusive to 2-3 and how they programmed that screen. There's no way to clip into the 4-3 wall because the walls are different than the 2-3 walls. If only Batman could somehow double jump. Batman has some pretty unusual jumping mechanics to the NES game. If you're holding right or left while jumping, Batman commits pretty hard on the angle. If you jump first, then control Batman with left or right, he has a greater degree of control off the neutral jump. Sadly, there's no way that you can double jump in Batman, at least until Dexter decided again to find a way. And Dexter did find a way. In 2-3, again, Dexter realized that Batman has we'll call it a third leg. Anyway, whatever that thing is between Batman's leg, it appears for one single frame. If you jump on the same frame as Batman's third leg appears, you can actually double jump. Again, this is great news, and Dexter went back to 4-3 to see if he could double jump across the gap. Turns out again, that bug is exclusive to the coding in stage 2-3. Batman can't actually double jump in any screen except 2-3. So we had two major heartbreaks so far. Maybe there was something else he discovered about Batman's jumping. Turns out, there actually was. Ryan and Dreamy Out, two prominent testers, figured out if you're neutral jumping then punch in the air, Batman can change direction almost immediately, opposed to if you jump without punching and trying to change Batman's direction in the air. This actually opened up a jump that wasn't possible otherwise in 3-3. Using that new tech, I was able to make that jump RTA from the task, but when I went to try in 4-3 to see if I could somehow extend Batman's jump, it didn't work. On August 15th, 2022, Zeman, another Batman tasker and Stratfinder, posted a clip of a Batman runner practicing for the Big 20 in a glitch he encountered. Though it's not exactly known how it's triggered, the runner died on the same frame as the camera moved over, causing the camera to glitch when Batman respawned. Everyone's mind again went towards 4-3. If this bug could be replicated, maybe this was finally how Batman could cross the gap. As Dexter often does, Dexter came through and Dexter succeeded. He posted a clip of the setup on how to trigger the camera glitch in 4-3, which happened to the runner Oopla. The camera glitch allowed us to partially zip Batman and scroll the screen vertically, but could we make the jump over the gap? If Batman could clear it, it would be a 56-second save, easily the biggest time save ever found in Batman. So, what happened? Turns out, Batman's position looks messed up, but his XY position is actually loaded into memory properly. What this means is if you try to jump off the ledge with Batman, as he jumps, he'll snap back into place. Basically, Batman in terms of the coding behind the scenes, even though the camera glitch provides a different visual, is actually where the stage loads in by default. In other words, Batman doesn't gain any distance with the camera glitch at all. And that's where we are present day. I find the gap fascinating as the developers likely put it there to tease people playing and never intended us to cross it. Yet due to unintentional, very critical bugs found, I find it even more fascinating none of them help Batman accomplish crossing the gap. Funny enough, a lot of Batman runners don't even want it to be possible. They think it would ruin the current route. If you're wondering how Batman made the jump in the previous clip, it was using Game Genie. So, until another bug is discovered, Batman remains on the left side of the ledge, at least for today.